Lonzo Ball turning heads in Cavs camp. Is he truly back now, recovered from injury, and can he be exactly what Cleveland needs to potentially make a push to the finals this year? I'm Trevor Lane. This is the Basketball Bulletin. Make sure you subscribe. We say it all the time. One of the best ways you can help out this channel, hit that subscribe button. Oh, and let this video roll all the way until the end. Make sure you stick around till the end. Joining me is Donnie Freeman. Donnie, Lonzo Ball, former number 2 overall pick, dealt with injury, missed multiple years consecutively of NBA action. Really unfortunate, scary stuff for him with the knee issues, but now back, got traded over the summer to the Cavs. I thought that was a great deal for Cleveland, by the way. Straight up, Isaac Okoro for Lonzo Ball. He's got a team option for next year, just $10 million, and now he's getting rave reviews coming out of Cavs camp. Pretty good stuff so far for the Cavs.
Yeah, for sure. The Cavs had a pretty interesting offseason, and a lot of it hinges on the way that Lonzo is able to slot into that team this year. Is he going to be healthy, this and that? Is he going to play back-to-backs? Is something that I believe we have an answer for today.
We do.
All that stuff. But Lonzo he's got such a high pedigree. It's just the injuries have really held him back, but he is so talented, and he really rounded out his game, being able to shoot and all that stuff before he started getting these injuries. So Nice pickup, and he seems like he's going to fit pretty well in Cleveland.
So this is Chris Fedor of Cleveland.com. From what I continue here, Lonzo Ball is somebody who continues to turn heads. He continues to show how he can be an effective fit for this team. Obviously, there's going to be questions about how much he's going to play in the regular season. We have an answer to that too. Will he play back-to-backs? Also have an answer for that. Can he make it through a full season healthy? But he's showing glimpses of why, number one, he's a better, more impactful player than Isaac Okoro. Yes, and that's exactly.
Why do you take a shot at Okoro like that for, man?
Okay, I mean, if he said better fit than Isaac Okoro, I think he could still be true and get the point across.
I think that's still true, yes.
But yes, it is a bit of a shot at a former number 5 overall pick. Shockingly, a former number 5 overall pick in Isaac Okoro from back in 2020. But take a look at this. Lonzo Ball says back-to-backs are off the table at the start of the year for him, and he expects to be playing around 20 minutes per night. So with that being the case, knowing that his minutes are certainly more limited than Isaac Okoro's, is he still a worthwhile gamble for the Cavs?
Yeah, absolutely. I think with Lonzo, you just need to pace him and hopefully get him into the playoffs and have him be that glue guy that he is, because he's just got such a multifaceted game. I do think he's worth the gamble. And that's why teams have tried to invest in Lonzo recently, despite the injury concerns with him. And I think for the Cavs overall, like his ability to defend multiple positions, his ability to be a secondary playmaker if you need him to do that. I mean, shoot, he could be your lead playmaker some nights. He can get you get the other guys involved. His ability to shoot the ball, all that stuff. Now, I think that with him, if you just get him into the playoffs healthy, then you can kind of turn a wrecking ball loose, and maybe you have a situation similar to like Caruso for OKC, where he just is able to really take that team up another level if he's out there competing and playing at a high level.
I mean, good anticipation, good hands. We saw him get a steal right there and then turn it over. But he does good on the defensive side of the ball. Better shot blocker than a lot of guards.
Rebounder,
good rebounder. He's got good
really
size
hole,
for the position.
His hole is that he doesn't finish well. Like his percentages for finishing aren't very high. But some of that's just because he takes some crazy shots sometimes, but he doesn't finish very well. He's been dealing with some injuries, so how much of that is true? But overall, I think he's got such a well-rounded game that at $10 million, that's a gross underpay, actually, if he's able to make it through the season healthy. But there's so much hinging on that because he hasn't been able to do that. He had that knee surgery and all that stuff. We didn't even know if Lonzo was going to be on a court again, let alone even or walking, let alone on a court again. After the procedures he had done. So just the simple fact he's here and back at this point where he's impressing is quite, impressive as well.
Yes, his impressing is indeed impressive.
Yeah, I was going to say something else, but I was like, I was hoping you wouldn't catch that.
Oh, we got it, Donnie.
Speaking of which, hold on, really quick, I was going to bring up, how did you not start this video with the dad joke? I was waiting for it. I was braced and prepared and everything.
I should have, but you know what? You can't force it. You can't force it because, I mean, really, with that type of thing, what I didn't want to do is put the ball in your court to then fire back at me. No. See, that's what happens when you force them. You can't do that. You can't do that.
I would have jumped on it too.
let's talk about what this value is going to mean and why specifically turning Isaac Okoro into Lonzo Ball, if Lonzo, even at just 20 minutes a night, could be such a big deal for the Cavs this season. We'll get to that right after this.
Sleeper is the #1 fantasy sports app. It pays to know sports. Pick more or less on top players. Your first pick is on us, so start winning now. Play in Texas, Georgia, Minnesota, and 27 more states. Pick anytime across all sports, pregame or live. Over 10 million players are already on Sleeper. Make your picks count. Score up to 1,000 times your cash. Join today. Get up to $100 credit using code Bulletin. Call your shot on Sleeper. Download now.
All right. I do want to note that Sleeper also has a free $20 entry, no deposit needed right now. So again, use the link in that description down below. All right. Donnie, $10 million this season for Lonzo Ball, and Isaac Okoro is just a little bit more, 11 million and change. And then he's also a guaranteed 11 million and change next year too. And that's who the Cavs traded for Lonzo Ball. You look at that team option for Lonzo. That right there, just from a financial perspective, turning Lonzo Ball into Isaac Okoro is a win for the Cavs because of that. They now have more versatility, more different directions they can go. If Lonzo works out the way that I think that he will, they're going to be very happy that they've got him, and they'll pick up that $10 million team option and off they go. But if he struggles with injuries again this year, if he can't stay on the floor, then no harm, no foul, right? I mean, yes, you lose this season. Yes, you lost Isaac Okoro, but frankly, you kind of blew that draft pick anyway. He's not giving you a 5th overall pick return. So this is, I think, a worthwhile gamble because if nothing else, this can clear a little bit of money off the books for the Cavs. And this is already a very, very expensive team.
Yeah, I think that there's something that needs to be mentioned as well on the Lonzo piece. There's actually a lot of eggs in his basket. It's not just Okoro. He was also brought in to help stem the tide of, for lack of a better term, because I can't come up with the right terms today. He's also brought in to help with the loss of Ty Jerome. Right. Correct, so that's another big thing here is Ty Jerome was in the running for 6th man of the year, had a great season for the Cavs last season, and they need another guard to be able to fill in that role too. So with them, that's where it's a little bit tricky because while I was talking about pacing Lonzo, needing to get him to the playoffs, how he could be a game changer, and I don't think that 20 minutes per night is a knock or anything like that. They do have a situation here with like Garland and his inability to stay healthy.
Yeah, he's like not going to be available to start the season.
I think that they kind of need a bit from Lonzo as well, to be fair, throughout the stretch of this. Like they may need to add another guard. They've got some other guys that they could consider, but that's something as well with Lonzo is that he is also here to help fill in the loss of Ty Jerome, who was massive.
Yeah, so that's the long term. It's the loss of Ty Jerome. I think the immediate future, we're talking about Lonzo filling in for Darius Garland, who's out after having toe surgery. He's not going to be available.
3 players right there, right? Like three key pieces last season.
Absolutely. So this is going to be, I think, an opportunity for Lonzo to step right in and play a big role immediately. And like you said, for the Ty Jerome piece, let's say, everybody gets healthy. Max Strus is out hurt as well. Let's say the Cavs get everybody back and healthy. I actually think Lonzo, if we're talking about him, they turned Isaac Okoro into him as Lonzo and Isaac Okoro replacement. Now he's really more the Ty Jerome replacement. Right. But I think Lonzo, if he's healthy, and even if he's only playing about 20 minutes a night, I think he's actually better for this Cavs team than Ty Jerome. And I love Ty Jerome because he played with so much moxie last season. He was one of those guys that had so much swagger to take over a game in an instant, was playing so confident. But you look at what this Cavs team has. You've got Donovan Mitchell. You've got Darius Garland. You've got guys that can put the ball in the basket. You need guys who can do all the other stuff, especially defensively in that backcourt. When we're talking about a Donovan Mitchell, Darius Garland backcourt, you need somebody who can be a defensive ace there. And that's not to say Lonzo is always healthy or a perfect defensive player or can stick with the quickest players. Lonzo's got size going for him, but he's a much better defensive player when healthy than Ty Jerome. So is it a gamble on health? Yes. But I actually think if the Cavs get everybody, and it's a big if, I think their ceiling as a team is actually higher with Lonzo Ball than with Ty Jerome.
For sure. I think that's certainly possible just because maybe it fits a bit better. And again, that's not to take anything away from Ty. I can't talk today in this video. It's quite bad. And I don't want to take anything away from him. He was awesome. Really quick, could you pull up the cleaning the glass for Lonzo as well, just to kind of show how impactful he can be? And I think that for him, his game, like I've said a couple of times, is there's just so many things on the court he can do. So it's not really hard for him to showcase that and really stand out among some of the other guys he's competing with.
Yeah, when we take a look, obviously the points per shot attempt were not good with Chicago last season. Only played 35 games. You know, the injury
Not been
stuff.
good for his career. That's not really,
Sure, but then you go here. Oh my God!
Look at all that. Look at that.
Look at all the orange is good, by the way, on cleaning the glass. Look at all that orange. Block percentage relative to other. Oh my gosh!
And they have him listed as a wing here. I guess that's more accurate today.
That's insane.
Yeah.
That's insane because I look at Lonzo as a guard. You want to classify him as a combo guard. They have him listed as a wing for his block percentage I call him a guard. For his block percentage to be in the 87th percentile compared to wings, that's really impressive.
Yeah, his whole thing is he's not on the court, but even going all the way back to his rookie year, as the numbers here suggest, he's been a great defensive player. Like, I'm not worried about that at all. Yeah, the steals, the rebounding, everything with him is good. It's always been the health, and early on it was the shooting, but he fixed the shooting problem. So
he did last season. He was not good enough. You know, the corner threes, he knocked those down. But if you buy the shooting from the season before, he was really good. So we'll see where he's at there.
Well, that wasn't the season before. That was 2 years before.
Oh, yeah, you're right. I'm talking about the last season that he played in.
Yeah.
Which was when he really was excited. And that Bulls team was so fun for a little bit. And then
I wonder if the shooting may be gone. We need to see a bigger sample size because he only played 30 so games last year. And he was coming back from 2.5 years of not playing basketball. So I do wonder about that. If the shooting is what it was before and what it had turned into there later in New Orleans and in Chicago. But if it is anything close to that, he's going to be awesome.
I mean, look, he was 35% from three last season. That's roughly league average, slightly below, really, if we're looking in the 45th percentile. But 42% from three the season before that. And that's right before he got hurt. That's years ago.
I need attempts though.
I don't
high.
Yeah, well, I'll pull that too. I don't expect him to do. I'm saying if he falls somewhere between those two, if he's 37% from three, great. Yeah, you're thrilled with that. You're thrilled with that. And I think that is very, like, if I were to predict what's Lonzo going to shoot from three, I'd probably slot him in right around 37% or so. I think that's very reasonable for him to do that. And then, as you said, when we talk about attempts, he was at 5.6 attempts per game last season. That when we go back a couple of years again to before his catastrophic injuries, 7 attempts, 8 attempts. The attempts are high. So that is going to have an added gravity to it as well. If a guy shoots really well from three, but opposing teams know he takes like less than 2 per game, they're not going to be scrambling out to him the same way as if Lonzo shoots 37% from three and he shoots 6 or 7 of them a game. Teams are going to be hustling to get out to him. It's going to create more of a gravity effect than even a 43% three-point shooter that only takes 2 a game.
Oh, wow. Why did you shift it like that? Initially, I was going to say, oh, that's another dig at Okoro, but then you shifted it. Now it's a Rui dig.
Honestly, you know who I was thinking of?
Who is it?
Marc Gasol.
Oh, that's true. Yeah,
that was who I thought of.
Back then, centers only took a couple, maybe, because it was still a newer concept, I guess. But yeah, that's the one thing with Okoro is defenses didn't respect him. He may take about 2 per game. He would shoot about 37% or so, but they would never commit to him too much because his volume wasn't high enough, so they didn't care as much about it. So I think just the sheer threat of Lonzo being willing to put up 6, 7, 8 a game is huge.
Yeah, and that I think is going to be big. And the Cavs shot well from 3 last season, but I like the addition of Lonzo to the Cavs. It's good to hear that he's already turning heads. Now, not playing in back-to-backs, could that potentially be an issue? Maybe, that's not ideal. Yeah. Only playing 20 minutes a night, that's not ideal. But man, if there's any way they get a healthy Lonzo come playoff time. Look, the Cavs, I think, are the favorites with the Knicks to come out of the East right now for good reason. Mm-hmm. There's a good chance, not if I had to pick between the Cavs or the field in the Eastern Conference, I'm of course taking the field, but there's a good chance that the Cavs are the team in the NBA Finals this year representing the Eastern Conference. I wouldn't pick them to beat OKC. I wouldn't pick them to beat Denver. Wouldn't necessarily pick them to beat some of the powers in the West. But could they give them a run? Yeah, I thought they had a really fun, phenomenal season. The way they played, the way the game flowed for them last year, it was exciting. And so I can't wait to see what they bring this year. And I hope, for Lonzo's sake, for a guy who dealt with so much injury wise, I hope this is the chance for him to get back on track. Donnie, I want it to be by February. We're talking about it's a no-brainer. The Cavs are picking up that team option on Lonzo's deal.
Oh yeah, for sure. Like that Lonzo contract, their ability to do that is also massive. But for sure, for Lonzo himself, I want to see him come out, look great, and be like, man, they can't do without him. They're going to pick up this deal, probably extend him, all these things. Yeah. A couple of things really quick before we get out of here. Firstly, the Cavs have a really high ceiling, a championship ceiling, right?
Sure.
But they've also got a floor that's like somewhere where they've been the last couple seasons. That's kind of where I guess the floor could be lower than that. But
round two?
Yeah, so I think that's more likely overall. But there's a lot of eggs in Lonzo's basket, quite literally, like we were talking about. They have a very big bet on Lonzo this season being healthy, and that's going to be a huge ceiling raiser for them, just because, and maybe somebody else pops off. Maybe you get obviously the step forward from Mobley. There's a bunch of other things that could happen, right? But I think that there's just kind of a lot invested in Lonzo because he's not replacing one guy, he's really replacing kind of two or at least 1.5 guys. Yeah. Maybe they try to do it by committee, but I think the benefit is for the Cavs is that they've got time because of the fact they're in the Eastern Conference to say that he doesn't need to play, back-to-backs. They're going to open the season with an outsized role for him because, the injuries and stuff, but he doesn't have to play back-to-backs. Maybe they'll get minutes elsewhere. Like they've got time to kind of do that and pace him. One thing I did see in there when he was talking about the back-to-backs is that it's at the start of the season. So maybe later on, as we get deeper in, if he's still healthy, maybe they put him into more minutes. Maybe he gets some back-to-backs. I don't really know. Maybe those things are on the table, but they've got options there for him.
And early on in the season, they have a tough back-to-back. I think an important back-to-back too. Games 3 and 4 versus Milwaukee at Detroit. 2 Eastern Conference opponents right there. Sunday, October 26th and Monday, October 27th. So you have to pick which game do you want Lonzo for in that back-to-back. But probably so I was hoping when I pulled this up that we would see a fairly light schedule for the Cavs in the early going. But New York, you got Brooklyn, okay, but then you got New York, Milwaukee, Detroit, Atlanta,
Philly.
Yeah.
I mean, even if they don't start with like the lightest schedule, we know there's going to be a nasty stretch in there where they have such a cakewalk schedule because that's just it is what it is. Like it's going to be in there. There's going to be a 2-week stretch where they don't play anybody.
Brooklyn, Washington. Yep.
Yeah, that's in there for sure. But I think they've got the ability to just kind of pace him and get through overall. And for the Cavs, I think the big thing here is that they have another guy. And again, this was something that was true also with Okoro, but something about having another guy that could be a part of your backcourt, because maybe you can plus up the rest of your roster, put another, put Lonzo at the 2, put another bigger guy out there. Like you have options to put Lonzo in one of those guard slots if you wanted to do that, but you have one less entry point that you're playing heavy minutes to. Like Ty Jerome, he was scrappy, but you could go at him, especially with the size advantage. You could go at Garland. You could even go at Mitchell, but you've got one less guy that you're playing, regular rotation minutes. That could be an entry point to your defense. And no matter how good those backline bigs are at helping on defense and protecting the rim and all that stuff, it's just kind of hard to make up for all those different potential entry points. And Lonzo's not going to be one of those guys.
Yeah, I'm just looking through here at their schedule. There's a bunch of 3-game stretches where it's like Washington, Brooklyn, Charlotte, where you get that.
What it is. They play those teams 4 times, man. It must be nice. It must be nice.
Easy living in the Eastern Conference in the NBA. But Lonzo, stay healthy, and good to hear that he's already turning heads, getting people excited in Cleveland, and hopefully he can stay out there on the floor for the Cavs, because I think he could really push them towards the finals. Everybody give us your thoughts in the comments down below. Lonzo, what can he bring to the Cavs? Will he stay healthy this year? Don't forget to subscribe right here to the channel for more basketball goodness. Till next time, everybody. See ya. Wait. Subscribe to the channel. The ball is in your court. There it is. Took a little while, but I found it. Thanks, everybody.
At the end of the video, really?
See, I rewarded them for staying all the way until the end.
Oh, my God.
See ya and stay safe.